So guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. What we do on this channel is we are all about instruction and helping you increase your enjoyment level and lower your scores. So if this is what you're after, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, it's free of charge. Hit that bell icon below as well. That way you get notifications to every single video coming your way. Going forward, right now into today's video, we are having a look at a hybrid versus a 2-iron. I've just been down at a fitting at Titleist and got fitted for the new TS2 hybrid. Now there's a big difference in why I've got that in instead of the 2-iron. The 2-iron has been great off the tee, but it's been very, very one-dimensional for me. So when we get into parkland courses, the ball flight's way too flat, descending angle's too shallow coming into the green, the ball bounces way too far. It's not that forgiving. We'll have a look at what it does while we're out here. But we've got this TS2 hybrid with a 1/2 inch shorter shaft, which is in here. We've got the sort of Tour AD shaft, which matches in my 3-wood, 1/2 inch shorter and gone a little bit heavier, so you can really kind of feel it. So that's just perfect for my swing. So what we'll do is stay there on a par 4, hit the 2-iron off the tee and the hybrid, see what differences they get. We'll have a look at where it is off the tee, and we'll hit a couple into the greens and see what happens in terms of when the ball lands on the green and what it does. Does it stop or does it keep running on? So the reason to go for the hybrid was that if you have a look at it, you want every club in the bag to peak at the same height or somewhere really close within a little window. For me, the 2-iron, unless I absolutely nutted it, it was always at least half the peak height. So when it was coming into the greens, it was always landing and then rolling out too far. It was great off a tee because it rolled miles, and in summer conditions on links courses, it bounced for forever. But it was only really one-dimensional. So that's the reason I've ended up going for a hybrid. So that or a 5-wood is why a lot of players would go for it. You'll have seen here in the fitting that I tried it against their new 2-iron with the wider sole, but as we saw when we took it out on the golf course later on, it didn't have the same results in the environment of the course, so therefore the hybrid was the better option for me.
So new utility irons, U500, U510. When we look at the sort of back of the head, we can see very similar design, just subtle differences in the actual aesthetics of the product. But then as soon as we turn it into this position, we can see the difference between the two models. So U510, very typical driving iron kind of appearance. U510 we can see is much thicker across the bottom. We've got U500 for someone that wants that typical kind of driving iron power off the tee, get the ball running. U510 has been designed more for hybrid-like performance, so that wider sole is helping to launch it higher peak height and then steeper landing angle. So a lot of people we speak to really might struggle with hybrids, but they've historically played well with a long iron. We can now give them that hybrid performance, but in the kind of design that they prefer to look at. Yeah. With those, we've gone with the hazardous smoke shaft in graphite. Again, a lot of traction on tour at the moment is graphite shafts in long irons. Again, that's just to help with speed and also to get the ball flighted that little bit higher where we do have less loft. Yeah. In these we have a 1-iron in the U510. We can see the 2-irons, 3-irons and 4-irons. So they are long iron replacements effectively. Yeah. So we'll get you to hit both, and again we'll look at TrackMan to see which one might be better suited for yourself. Perfect. So if we start U500. Good strike.
Yeah. That's the sort of flight I have to get with 2s off the floor.
Yeah, so having seen you hit your current TMB, peak height a little bit flatter actually.
But I absolutely crushed that one, man. That's as good as I could hit it.
Yeah.
I get a lot of that off the floor. So off the tee, it's really, really good.
Yes.
Because I have like a shot where I try to
That's good.
I hit that on that tee. So again, it's really flat, isn't it? It's great for tee.
So control into a green, it's not really a product we're using.
It doesn't happen. So it probably running what, 30 yards, 40 yards?
34. 34 yards.
That's as high as I could hit. I pushed it.
Okay, so let's see what 510 can do for you then.
Wow. That's how the forehand fly at peak. That's got miles.
So peak height on that one was 68 feet.
Oh, it's carried 10 yards further.
Carried 10 yards further.
What was it, peak height? 68?
68 feet, yeah.
Forehand was about 80, wasn't it? 82?
Yeah.
Miles better that than the first one, wasn't it?
Oh,
Height wise.
didn't feel like that was.
Gonna happen?
No. It kind of went straight up.
Oh, this flight's fantastic though. Compared to that other one, isn't it? It's getting up.
Yeah.
In terms of look and feel, any difference between the two?
Obviously, it's thicker at the back, at the top, but it feels nicer than my two. But because of the width of the back, it feels like, let's say, if you said you had to launch a little bit, so you know how you get, or you put it a bit forward in the stance here, I feel like I probably don't have to lean back as much.
Yeah,
so just
definitely.
gets up a bit more. Like that.
Oh,
That's not when you want to pop it up.
that
Get forwards.
flight was sick.
See, it's 10 yards shorter than the other one, but that's the one that you can get a
Nearly
lot higher.
80 feet high, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I couldn't get it that high on the other one.
If we had one utility club in the range and I gave you 500
Yeah.
and that was the only version, it would do one thing quite well for you, which
Yeah.
is very forward, get it running. Going into the green, it's not going to be that great. Having a second option for yourself, 510, we can actually do both ball flights, so you can get that high, soft landing one into a green, or like you just done there, manipulate it in lower. So having two options, that custom fitting kind of element to it. We don't have a product that's very good for you, but there, in that sense, we do have a product that can work pretty well for you. Good. All right.
I like that flight.
Good flight as well. Yeah, really good flight.
Is that any different to the 2-iron?
So is this what we're saying? This is like the two. Is this equivalent of 2-iron? Yeah.
The 2-iron was 18 degrees. This is 19. Yeah.
But I mean, sorry, height. Sorry.
Looked.
Yeah, 75
better.
feet that was.
And what was the 2-iron about the same? Sorry.
Average 70.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mate, that's a great flight. That.
Yeah, I like that.
TS3 in. So we've just hit TS2.
Yeah.
In the hybrid, we have again like the utility iron, two options. So we're going to move into TS3 now. See a little bit from the shape there, the difference in size between the two.
Yeah.
We'll turn more into the address position. TS2 sits a little bit more like a fairway would, a little bit rounder, almost onset bulbous face across here. Whereas TS3, much shallower face, much shallower depth, and a little bit more offset. So it plays a little bit more like an iron.
Yeah.
So again, player dependent, people that maybe want to take less or more divot, you'll probably find that they'll suit more one into the other. The reason they're called TS now compared to the 800 series, they go through the same development process as the TS driver and fairway. So lighter crown, thinner face, more aerodynamic head shape.
Okay.
Underneath, we have the same sort of SureFit CG and SureFit weighting system as the driver and fairway. So TS2's got the flat weight in there to manipulate head weight. TS3 has the head weight in there as well, but we also have the throw weight. So in terms of draw and fade bias, if someone's catching it a little bit out the toe, a little bit out the heel, we can help with ball speed and gearing effects, but also a little bit with dynamic closure as well. If someone's struggling to get the face closed or keeping the face open, we can do that. So we've tried 2, we'll now move into 3.
Perfect.
Just because of the characteristic of the head. At 5'10", having lots of mass with a lot of tungsten weight in the head,
Yeah.
going to help pop it up in the air, get that carry distance, get that flight more optimal. Because I think this is just a bit too aggressive, so it's coming out very forward. And as soon as you try and add a bit of height, just losing it a bit right. So again, custom fitting element. product that works better for yourself is the 2-iron in the 510.
Yeah.
That's a good shot. But
It's flattening coming down though, that's going to run, it's not going to stop.
yeah, it's 510 all day.
I think that was 510 better than the TS2, did we think?
I just think quite historically for you, I think you'll prefer it.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Should we take them out the course?
Yeah.
So on the range, we found that the U510 was way outperforming my previous TMB 2-iron. We tried that against the new hybrid and it was outperforming. We come out on the course to give it a go. We're 230 from the flag. The one shot I really struggled with to actually get that longer club to get high enough into the greens to see what it actually does in real conditions here. On slight side slope, uphill to the green, so this will actually test whether we can get it high enough to get it up there. Is it going to hit into the slope short of the green, or is it going to be able to carry somewhere near all the way up there? A little right side of the green, but actually launch wise up a hill, that's actually quite high because of the flatness. Let's give it a go against the hybrid and see what happens. So the interesting bit for me was, tried both of the hybrids. So tried the TS2, which is much more aligned to the fairway wood. I've got the TS2 fairway wood, and which obviously gets the ball up in the air a little bit more. It's a little bit more wood profile to look at, a little bit wider in the back, a little bit kind of sleeked back. Honestly, when I sat it down, this was not the one I thought I would go for. I was convinced I wanted the TS3, a bit more sort of player-like, a bit more weight towards the front of the face, but the ball came off so much lower, this way outperformed it. If I was playing links golf all the time, running off the tee, then it'd be a great option, but that's not what I need. So this is a really good option to see what it's like out here compared to the 510, because the 510, obviously, as a 2-iron, got the most amazing flights. Let's see what this one does while we're out here.
Great ball. Oh, on it.
That's pretty good.
Couldn't hit that any better.
I stood here all day.
Cool, so you find us on the 18th. We've got around 220 yards into the green on the par 5, so we're going to give it a go. We tried the utility iron and the hybrid up on the 4th hole. Bit of an uphill lie, so a bit tricky. A bit of a tricky shot for Dan to play. So found something here with a nice flat lie. Again, we're going to test the U510 against the TS2 hybrid, just to see which one's more playable for yourself. The great thing is we give a lot of demo product out to pros up and down the country. So if it was a consumer coming out today, hopefully they also can do a similar experience where they can try the products up against each other in a fitting scenario, which we've already done, but then also out on the golf course.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you can do it?
Yeah, definitely.
Give it a go.
Bottom of the face, but it works.
Tell you what, there's a little, you can't see it, there's a little stream in front of the green. I think it bounced it, went just through the back of the green.
Shut up, really? Really?
Yeah, you got a member's bounce and you never played it.
I was fighting that, I fighted that. That was fighting it like mad.
Landed in the stream.
That was, I feel like I've fought the last 3 shots, because I've seen it going a bit more right.
Mm.
light.
Yeah, just landed by the bunker. I think if you turned it with no, or if there was no wind, that probably would have landed not far off. Seeing that well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing that really well.
There's no way I would have put myself in that before I got here.
There we go.
No way.
TS2 was the most popular at the sales meeting when the sales reps first saw it as well.
Wow.
Just felt it just sits flatter. Doesn't look like it's going to go left. Shot.
That's ripped. Can't hit that any better.
Good height. Landed exactly the same space. Saw the sand puff up.
Yeah.
Get one more with that one, please. So hit well.
Same job.
There's not a lot in it.
It was literally the same ball flight. It's carried the same place.
Yeah. So it's the same golf shot hit well.
Yeah.
This will be the acid test. I'll try and miss it right, but I'm gonna try and hit a cut with it. I can never cut hybrids.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's so good. Try and hit a low draw with it. If this becomes a low draw and it plays it, I think this will be the one. Because I can hit all the shots with it.
Yep.
It feels like if you miss this, it's easier than that. On appearance out here, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, from what you've been doing out here, yeah.
On the range, I thought that was the one.
Yep. Get in the hole. Great shot.
This is the one, isn't it? Because I could hit a flat one, a medium one, and a high cut with it. Whereas I feel like to hit, well, I don't know, what would you say?
Just looking at shot execution wise and what's going to help you score, for me, TS2 hybrid.
Yeah.
Good ones with the 2-iron and the U510 as comparable, but on balance we hit more shots better with the TS2 hybrid. Performance has got you in less trouble. A couple of the shots have been a little bit off with this. Potentially lost balls, extra shots on the scorecard. So from a performance point.
So it was interesting, we talked about, having that historic bit with a golf shot, where your memory says,
Yeah.
I've not hit great shots with hybrids in the past. So for me, I've always struggled seeing them go a bit left, from the early days of original hybrids, so I've never played with them. But right then I was able to play a fade, which was a high one, a standard one and a lower one. So it's like really, really versatile as well. I'd always seen them as being a bit one-dimensional, but there's no way that that's the case with this one for me.
Absolutely, as you said there, played one with the wind, little fade, played one low with a draw, able to execute the shots on demand when you needed to. So definitely a winner.
Looks like a winner. So we're out on the course here at High Lee, and I've got 223 yards, which is just that to the pin. So got hybrid and the 2-iron. Now, what we can see is that there's trees in the way, so the only way to get that up there for the 2-iron for me is I've either got to really lean back to launch the ball really, really high to get it over those trees, or I've got to work a big cut around. Now that's going against a lot of my natural instincts because I like to hit a little draw. So I've got to work incredibly hard with this club to get it anywhere near. Then you factor in that you're not always going to get a perfect lie. So if I've got a lie like this where it's sat up on the grass, or even right in there, it's on a beautiful tuft and feels like a little tee, that's great for the 2-iron. But if I get something where it's not necessarily a long way out, but it's a little bit sat down like that, that's going to be incredibly hard for me. I'm going to have to work so hard to get that ball up in the air that the chances of me getting a great strike and the distance are going to be pretty slim. So let's have a go with both clubs. Let's actually first of all start off with the 2-iron. And we'll do it from a decent lie. So we'll do both from a really well sat up lie. Okay, and I'm going to try and just play a standard golf shot here. But actually stood in the conditions here, I know that that height for 2-iron is going to be so difficult to get it over those trees. But what I'll try and do is try and play exactly the same shot. I won't influence it and try and fade it. I'm going to just try and hit a standard shot, which is going to try and get it over somewhere near over those trees. So that was it, a little bit out the bottom, but not that badly. And that has careered and dipped down into the trees. I genuinely didn't miss that by much. If you ever should have a look at the ball mark, it goes to show you where things have to be with it too. It's right in the middle of the face. It's about 1.5 grooves low. So it doesn't have to be missed by a lot. Let's actually try one more here because, you know, yeah, I didn't flush it, but it wasn't that far off. So that's the other problem we've got there, absolutely crushed left of the green. So we've got 2 misses there, which are miles apart. So I feel like I've got to work so hard with this club. In my head there, I was trying to stay back on it. So I stayed back on it to try and launch it. Missed it miles left because it's gone against my exact pattern of my what standard dish you normally do. Let's just hit the hybrid. So let's see where this gets to. So use the same sort of lie, it's a decent lie right there. And let's see where that hybrid goes. So caught that a bit heavy there, but that is up almost pin high on the green. And that was struck horrendous. I've got half the golf course over the face, and this is the reason why I'm changing to it. Didn't need to be hit well, and it still got up there. If we see what it does on a good shot, and you'll see the flight and the big difference on it, but it's the forgiveness level that has been the big game changer for me. So just wipe this off, okay, because it was a little bit high in the face there. So we saw that it was quite divotty. Okay, similar-ish lie, pretty decent. Not quite as sat up. It's a little bit to the left side of the green, but that's pretty close to being up near the flag. Let's go down there and have a look at what the differences are, where those balls are ending up. So here it is, a little YouTube golf day ball. Unfortunately, stymied behind a couple of trees. Don't remember being that stymied when I played in that day. If you've not had a look at that day, jump up and have a look at the video. This was the 2-iron, didn't carry the trees. Definitely put me in a difficult position right here. So this is one of the reasons why it's not a good option for me. Now, as we are having a look, what we'll see here is front right short of the green was the one that I caught heavy with a hybrid. Honestly, it was struck way worse than any of the 2-irons that hit. The 2-irons are actually both pretty close to right at the middle. But as we can see there, it had enough height to still go over the trees pretty comfortably. It's up here and now giving you a really good chance of getting it up and down. Other 2-iron, I thought it was coming down towards these trees here. So it was coming down in this area. Unfortunately, I know it wasn't quite struck, you know, quite well enough. 220 is a big carry for me with a 2-iron. Sort of 210, 215 was right in this area. Looks like this pond has been home to a nice Titleist golf ball. So that's there. Now let's have a look at where the one that was very slightly pulled to the left side with the hybrid. Let's have a look at where that's ended up. And what we'll see is that hopefully it's somewhere up near the green. Yep, it's just to the left edge of the bunker here. And the beauty is, because of the way that the club works, you carry it up there and it's got a lot more carry due to the height. It's not got that much faster ball speed off the face. Having been on TrackMan, they're really, really similar. It's just that this gets so much more height and it carries a good 15 yards further. So that's that ball right over here. So obviously putting it in the bag for me with the hybrid was all about getting a high second shot into the green, but this has been really good off the tee and really good in windy conditions hitting a sting. It's pretty breezy out here today. Let's have a look if it is just going to be great for second shot, or is it a super versatile club, or is it something I'm going to need to change in and out of when you go into links courses? Because that might be a case for you guys that you have two options. I'm going to see if that's going to be the case for me. I know how low I can hit this thing, so I'm going to really try and get a low stinger shot off the tee. So quite far back in the stands and really get this one out there. So that one, a little bit toey, but that would, in ordinary conditions, have ran quite a long way. It's pretty soft out here at the minute, so we're not going to see loads of run. Big bit's going to be, can we get this thing to go as low as that? So it's obviously playing really a similar loft, but it's obviously got weights and what have you in different spots. But let's see what this is going to do. I'm pretty confident that this can get nice and low and out there. So same feeling. Ball back, weight on the front foot. It's got exactly the same line. It went a little bit higher than the other one, probably about 10 foot higher. Both balls are down there. We'll see if they've carried any different. It's not going to roll as much today. Like I said, it's really been quite wet round here. But let's see where they've carried to, and we'll see what options are going to be like off the tee. So having hit both of these low ones off the tee, we're seeing a big difference here. 2 iron wasn't hit amazing, but it goes to show that when we kept going, it's a tiny little bit lower than the hybrid, but it was to show that we could still hit the stinger type shot. But nearly 20 yards further on is the hybrid, just showing the higher levels of forgiveness. What I'd now say, guys, is if you go for a fitting, the most important thing is try it on the range to start with, where you've got lots of shots to try out, shafts, etc. And then if you're down at St.Ives or you're with a great fitter, make sure that they can take you on the golf course. If there is the opportunity, try both of the clubs head to head out on a golf course, because there's nothing quite like hitting a shot in situation of the golf course to see what's happening to that ball flight.